Hello and welcome to the Miskatonic Playhouse. I'm T.A. Newman, your host. My team and I will be bringing to life cosmic tales using the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game, which contains mature themes, horror, character death, and loss of sanity. Our mystery can be found in the Miskatonic repository, where people like you and me can write scenarios for other players. If you'd like to become a friend of the Playhouse, then please support us on Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, where you can gain access to exclusive shows and content for as little as £1. Now it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice. Keeper, the stage is yours. Welcome to the Miskatonic Playhouse, and I am your host, T.A. Newman. And tonight's performance is Flesh Wounds by Pete Burgess, which you can find in the Drive-Thru RPG link below. Tonight's performance is directed by me, but more importantly, this evening's curious investigators are Charles.
Hi, I'm Charles, and tonight I'm playing Luis Carlos Andrian, 21 years old and student at the Miskatonic University. I'm studying pharmacology.
And Howl.
Hello, I'm playing Maggie Myers. She's a postgraduate student, having transferred from Boston, where she studied criminology and law. She's now branching out into pathology and forensics.
And Phaedra.
Hello, today I'm playing James Bud, but call me Jimmy. Not very promising engineering student, but very, very promising prankster and class clown.
And now it's time to pull back the curtain and roll the dice. Investigators, the stage is ours. And I bring you, investigators, to Monday, March the 6th, 1927. The students of Miskatonic University are enjoying a week off for spring recess, but not you three. Too far to go home, too much money for the fuel or the ticket. For whatever reason, you are on the campus at Miskatonic University. The usually frenetic and bustling campus has taken on more of a peaceful and somber air, as many of the students, academics, and faculty staff have gone. They've vanished. You are, after a long afternoon into the late evening of studying, if that is what you've been doing in the science hall, you are walking across the campus grounds, back towards the dorms. And as you walk across the campus grounds, back towards the dorm, you hear something. Can you give me a listen roll, everybody?
Starting strong.
Already.
Let's see.
So, pop. Listen.
Pleased to report a success. That's 28 under 40.
Okay.
Jimmy heard nothing.
Jimmy.
Well, just a regular success. I mean, I did hear something.
Okay. So Jimmy's probably... Oh, Phaedra, what's Jimmy doing? Jimmy's talking, Jimmy's chattering about something. What is it?
I think Jim is singing, probably something really annoying and on a loop. He's had a good day setting up a long con prank in the science department. He's kind of put gum or something under all the beakers. He's had a productive pranking day, so he's singing away on the way back, being very annoying.
Excellent. And Maggie, Lewis, I imagine as Jimmy's singing, you're probably not that taken with it? No.
Not especially. Maggie's pretty straight-laced. She's got a stack of books under her arm. She's thinking about the paper she has to write. She is in another world.
And as she's thinking about those books, and as Lewis no doubt is thinking in a similar vein, both of them blocking out Jimmy's singing as best as they can, unless they'd like to make a sanity roll this early on. They
Not yet.
they hear from further down the campus, from the western side of the campus, but almost coming towards them, they hear what they think are some panicked cries, almost a scream.
Do you hear that? Jimmy? Jimmy, could you stop singing just a second?
But there's so many amazing things out here to sing about, like, look at this tree, ooh, and look at this rock, oh, and look at your books. We have way too many books. Books.
Jimmy.
Quiet down, Jimmy. We all see the rock. I think someone just screamed.
And as Maggie says that, the scream again explodes. You hear it now. All of you hear this now. And you see that there is a student, a girl, and she is running towards you, wide eyes, screaming. But it's the noise, Maggie and Lewis, that you pick up before Jimmy, that you hear behind, as you see a figure behind her running as well. And the noise doesn't sound anything human-like. The person running behind this girl running is running full pelt at this girl. What do you do? And we'll have Lewis. Sorry, Lewis and Maggie respond first. Yeah.
I think it's time to run away. I mean, someone is clearly like crazy or sick. Maybe it's the rabies, I don't know, but I'm not staying here. I mean, I have exams to pass and I have a life to live, to be honest. I'm not here to die today. Not after this break. I'm running.
You have so much life, so much love left to give.
Yeah, I hope so. Thank you, Maggie.
Okay, but so do you begin to turn and run? Because you've got this girl who's one of your university students, and in fact, you think you might recognize her, Maggie. You think you might recognize her. In fact, she's one of the girls from your dorm. She's one of the girls from the Dorothy Upman dorm. And in this moment, as she's running towards you, placing her name, my God, it's momentarily lost. But she is running at you, and now she's not just screaming; she's screaming, "Help! Help me!"
Does she look like she's making decent headway away from this mysterious assailant? Like, is she getting away, or does she actually need help?
We have faith in her. She's always been very good at whatever
she has the right idea. Like, she's got the situation handled. We can maybe all just make a beeline.
She doesn't look like she's going to get to you before the man you can now see that is behind her, before the man is going to get to her.
Okay, we can't
sad.
have that. That's God, yeah, what a shame.
If only there was anything we could do, but there
wasn't
anything
at all.
really.
Taxi for 3.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy has run away from enough angry people after a prank to know that you're not supposed to run away in a straight line. You're supposed to jump to the side and hide. So that would be his impulse. Find a good bush behind a building, under a rock.
Is that what Jimmy does? Or is that what Jimmy's suggesting the girl running towards them does?
Oh. Probably not. Probably he just hides.
You're not yelling out scores like, come on, that's a 6 escape at best. You should have found a bush by now.
After he's in the bush, he's gonna set. Yeah.
So you're probably nearer towards the Copley Memorial Bell Tower, which is kind of the central piece within the grounds here. So this could be a good place for Jimmy to hide.
In the bell.
In the actually climbed up and hidden inside the actual bell. There shall be no ringing upon the hour. And then Maggie and Lewis, you're there at this moment. I'm going to say you can see the man chasing this woman and launches into the air and lands and grabs her ankle and pulls her to the ground. And you can hear her
So he
screaming.
doesn't have any weapon or anything. He's just like trying to bite her or something?
It's hard.
You don't know. We don't know. Perfect. Amazing. Great.
I think we have to.
I was raised by a really kind old woman, and she taught me that if I was to go to paradise at some point, I had to help out people. So I'm gonna do what I don't want to, and I will go to this girl on. I'm not gonna ask her if she needs help. I'm gonna help her directly.
Outstanding. Lewis, how
I'm
are
gonna
you
throw
going to help?
myself on this guy. I'm gonna try to just like wrap my arms around his body. I just want to try to put enough pressure on him so he can't really move and he can run away.
I like it. So you it's like kind of grappling him, essentially, I think is the idea
Yeah,
here.
I guess so.
Okay.
If you
Well,
allow me, Newman.
he is very much focused on this girl, Maggie. I'm going to ask you what you're doing, but I am also going to tell you in this moment, as this is all happening before you, you see Lewis begin to run towards this man who seems to be attacking. You see Jimmy nowhere of any particular use. But Maggie, it's in this moment that the name clicks in your head. This is Elsie. This is Elsie Branner. You don't know her that well, but you know her. She's in your dorm.
Well, the Dorothy Upman dorm girls stick together, and Maggie is very justice motivated. She sticks up for underdogs, and apparently she learned to scrap fighting her sisters growing up. So
Best
I
kind.
think, yeah. So out of that sibling instinct, she sees Lewis just launch himself and tackle this guy. She's not going to be left out. So she grabs the rock. Oh, there goes my pen. So much as I'm hefting this pen, Maggie hefts the rock that Jimmy was singing about earlier. And
you're welcome.
Thank you for calling that into being.
Smash someone's head?
Like... I would like to, yeah. I'd like to swing it at this guy's head.
Right, okay. So I think what we've got there, Lewis, you were going to give me a brawl roll to see if you could kind of grapple, I think, if that's okay, and at least pull this person. And as you go forward, you can see that they're wearing a suit. They're older. They're not a student.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Newman. I failed.
What?
That's weird, right? I mean, it must be a mistake somewhere, but I got a 70 against 25.
Jimmy has higher brawl than you? That's hilarious.
That's pretty... Jimmy's been in the gym. That's where he's been spending his revision time.
They don't call him Jimmy for nothing. We could use you out here, Jimmy.
Maybe.
We could, I guess.
What we've got there then, Lewis, is you go in, you grapple your arms around. How is it that this person in this suit, who now looks frantic and wild, how is it that they kind of buck you off then, Lewis?
I think that it must be just the rain, the dampness of his clothes or something. But anyway, I can't get a good grip on. I feel like I'm just being thrown on the side.
Maggie, I'm going to give you a bonus die because I feel like this person in this suit who's just going wild has grabbed Elsie's leg, pulled her to the floor. You can see that Elsie, she's taken a few hits. She's a bit battered. And in this moment, when you see this, a number of things happen to you. But one of them is that this person rears back, throwing Lewis off and almost rears up into the perfect place for you to be able to bring that rock down. So could you please give me a rock roll, which I'm sure we could have as a brawl roll, with a bonus die?
Lovely. Yeah, just scouring my character sheet for rock. Here we go. She's actually got a solid 45 in brawl. So fingers crossed here, everybody.
Okay.
Let's roll twice and see what we get. Oh my God. Okay, well, that's a 75. No. And then that's a 49 over 45. And if you'll allow me, Keeper, I think I'd like to spend some luck at this point.
Do we have to roll it first by any chance?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, have we not rolled luck? Oh, absolutely. I mean, in fact, what I meant to say was, and this is the perfect opportunity to everybody to quickly roll their luck, which was planned from the start.
Classic.
Thanks, Jimmy, you pranker, pulling me up on that one. Yes.
Is that something we can do a roll 20? Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And then we can expose you to everyone who's listening as well for the good rolls or the poor rolls that you have.
How do you... Is it...
I think that if you were to type /roll and then 3d6, you would be good.
I did it.
You did. And then times, please. Times 5.
I think I just got 75 luck.
Whoa.
15 times 5? 75?
75
Yeah.
indeed.
Heck yes.
Then
I
there's-
have 45, some group luck. Enjoy, everyone.
Yeah,
Could be lower. Could be lower.
there we go. I think I'm going to be asking you for a lot of luck then, Maggie. A lot of luck, a lot of situations for anything you need to do. I'd like to walk through this door. Give me a luck roll. Okay, so yeah, of course you can use those. Was it 4 points? Was it to make that a success?
Yes, please. So I'm down to 71 luck, and I get a regular success, just smashing this rock into this guy's face. Let's see if we can knock some teeth out.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, this is. I'm going to say, give me a 1d4, and we're going to add 1 to it. This is quite a significant attack.
I want to
Sounds
know
good.
what kind of fighting you did with your sisters.
Dirty
We
fighting.
didn't mess around.
Yeah,
The violent kind, the violent kind.
Pillow fight, but rock in the pillowcase.
There you go. So how many points of
Maggie is
damage was
still
that?
alive, you know.
That was a 2 on the d4, so +1. We're looking at 3 damage.
Okay, so your rock swings down, and as it hits this guy in the head, you hear a crack, like someone stepping on an egg in the shell, and you just hear this crunch and this, and it just slopes over, just drops to the floor. You hear now from up towards the Dorothy Upman Hall, you can hear a couple of people coming out. You can see them in the distance coming out and looking over, and a few people just kind of like, oh my God, did you see it over there? Did you see? And there's the 3 of you are standing there. Elsie is... You are. Sorry, the 2 of you are standing
No, I've
there.
reappeared now. I'm like, wow, we did a great job here, guys.
You're
Good.
welcome, team.
Go team.
Maggie, you just killed someone.
Elsie's there. She is just crying.
Maggie is busy establishing like the story because she's a law graduate. So she knows she's got some witnesses here, and we all need to get our story straight in case this guy isn't breathing. She is going to check, actually.
Just as you check, then, I would, and especially because Jimmy's reappeared, in terms of getting our story straight, could you all give me a spot hidden, please?
Oh. Boopy, boopy, boop.
That's a 92 over 35. So Jimmy's busy pretending he belongs there, I guess.
Yeah,
I
Jimmy's
got
too
a
busy.
91.
So, 91.
I am similarly distracted, I
To
guess.
be fair, it's been a lot.
Yeah, maybe I did literally just kill a dude.
Hey, they say it can, can be distracting. I always find it to be
Well-
quite calming. But Lewis,
That's a hard success on my part.
oh
6 against 25.
wow, okay then. Well, absolutely. I think it's fair to say, Maggie, that having just killed someone,
Yeah, she just killed someone.
yeah. But as you go down to check to see if they're, I don't know, okay, dead.
So
Not sure
dead
what you're
guy?
checking for. Lewis, you find this falling out of one of the pockets as Maggie is fixated on the head or the remains of the right part of the skull, should I say, the cranium that's kind of like caved in there. It almost crushed too easily. I mean, the skull's a hard thing. You know from fighting with your sisters from being a kid, Maggie, that you can bang your head on, around the bloody place. You can even use it as a bit of a weapon if you want to. But this is kind of crushed as you swung your rock. Jimmy, you're standing there. You're seeing both Maggie looking at the head, but you're also seeing Lewis almost pulling out of the pocket this card, this thing. Lewis, tell us what you got there.
Maggie, the guy you just killed, he's working for Pinkerton, the National Detective Agency. He was a
He's
special detective.
A detective? Well, we all saw
Yeah.
that. That was an aggravated assault against Miss Branner here.
Well, it's definitely self-defense.
What was it, self-defense?
I was just going to my room, and he was in the corridor, and he was like bleeding from the head, and he just ran at me, and and he was screaming, and he hit me, and I dropped. I managed to kick him, and I managed to get up, and I managed to run, but he was wild. I tried speaking to him, screaming at him. People were coming out of their dorms, but I just ran, and he just kept chasing me. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you.
Oh, you poor girl. Here, are you hurt? And I'll sort of help her up and give her a pat down and see. And I'm also checking for bite marks or anything. And I'm also checking this dead chappie's mouth in case he happens to be frothing or anything weird like that. I am studying pathology, and I want to make sure this isn't a case of the rabies.
Yeah, okay. You can well, I think in either of those instances, I'd be quite happy with a medicine. It depends what you're looking to get out of this. A medicine roll or a first aid roll, I think would probably be
First aid
suitable.
would be stellar. Yeah, I'm not running any tests or anything. I'm just checking if she's like got a twisted ankle or bite.
And likewise on the Hatchet, according to his Pinkerton National Detective Agency license, Walter Patchett.
Says William.
Yeah, Williams, that's his name.
But William is a bit like one of those funny names, a bit like Jonathan, where Jonathans can be shortened to Jack for some reason, and Jack's it's a bizarre thing. Where William can be Walter. Yeah, Walter. Absolutely. Yeah. I came across it a while ago as a bizarre thing, so I'm glad I knew that, because I would have questioned myself then, as I did when I was reading the scenario. Much like Thomas can be shortened to Jezebel. There's just weird names that can
weird indeed.
Yeah. So William, aka Walter Patchett, you have his license. You know he's a Pinkerton. You're doing a check here, Maggie. How'd you get on?
I got a 25 under 40, so regular success. If I need a hard success, I could make that happen. I am just free and easy with all this luck I got.
Do you know what? No, I think that's really good, because what you're actually seeing now is you're seeing I suppose three things happen at the same time at this point. Now Jimmy is no longer hiding in the bell for the Memorial Bell Tower. You hear it ring, and it rings throughout the entire quad. It rings for 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock at night. So you now know exactly what time it is, arguably time of death, considering, Maggie, that is your particular area of expertise. And you can see now, coming from the Dorothy Upman Hall area, that one of the Miskatonic universities, the campus night watchman, is walking over, and he seems to be walking over with a couple of police officers, and they are walking over to you as you're doing this check. So Maggie, what you're able to check, firstly on Elsie, she is battered. You can see bruises already welling up. Purple is already swelling up on some of the arms, where you can see there's been fingers gripped in. You can see that there's a swollen cheek, a bloodied lip, and you can see that she is very much in a state of shock. You recognize some of those early symptoms as in regards to what's happened to her. You can't see any bite marks. You don't see any bite marks. You look at William Walter Patchett, and you don't see anything with the mouth, apart from some blood trailing from the mouth, his own. What's weird, though, Maggie, what's really weird, Maggie, is that you can see that there's been these trails of blood from the mouth, some from the nose, even some from the left eye and ear. But where you're looking now at the right side of the skull, which you seem to pop with your rock as it crunched, there's no natural flow of blood. There's no gushing of an open wound. There's no moments where the heart beats its last, forcing that blood around the body, and it swells out of any lacerated area. You've just caved the skull in.
So that part of the skull was kind of like dry on empty?
Or he was already dead.
I do give it a tentative poke. If there's like, I pull a pencil out of my pocket and just kind of. No, I just want to like because I know the cops are going to come over here and swarm everything, but I'm super curious, forensics, you know. So I do just want to like nudge a little bit of the skull aside and see what we're looking at in there.
Yeah. You absolutely, as you do that, you hear in the distance one of the police officers, hey, don't do that. Step away now. But as you do, and yeah, I'm sure you probably get a quick poke in on the old skull there. You can see that the skull, almost a fragment that you pushes into, you feel it against the brain, push down, almost like a dry sponge beneath.
Well, the brain's in there. That's a good sign, but definitely drier and
It's a dry
spongier.
sponge. The brain is not supposed to be like a dry sponge.
No,
I'm going to
that
ask
seems
you
unusual.
all now. I'm going to ask you all now, just having witnessed what you've witnessed, to give me a sanity roll, please.
About time.
Yep. Fair enough. Did just kill a man.
That's a 97 for Jimmy. He's been not dealing with this very well. Like, this is some kind of prank. Some kind of prank we're playing here. So we'll put,
this is a great prank.
This.
This guy's nailing it. Great prank. Jimmy, 97 over 60. Yeah, that's going to be 1d4, please.
Not a fumble, but
it's significant. It's significant. Lewis.
I failed as well. I mean, 72 over 65. I think it's a little too much. I mean, Maggie just killed someone.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. Thank you. That's a 1d4 as well. And Maggie.
Maggie, our budding murderess, just clocked in with an 18 under 80. So that's a hard success if there is such a thing on sanity.
Oh.
You did what you had to do.
Yeah.
I think she's already, like, they've been shown so many projections and pictures of crime scenes. They've talked about so many cases in her mind that she's just cataloging it right now. She's already plotting out the paper that she could write about this.
And the way you've played it thus far as well, Howl, Maggie very much has responded to a friend in need, but then has responded to an incident. There's been, there's been an examination of the events. So I think that's. I am going to tell you that you do lose 1 point of sanity, though, even if it isn't recognized right now.
That seems fair.
Yeah. Yeah, even if it's not recognized right now, there's still a moment of having killed someone with a rock, no less. So the police officers come over, and you can see that Elsie's there, kind of shivering. They run over, they trot over. You see that they're with one of the Miskatonic University night watchmen. But then the night watchman kind of comes over. Oh, I came as quick as I could. I tried chasing, but then I had to get the police. Are you all okay? You all look okay, except you. He's pointing at Elsie.
I mean, sir, barely. We almost died here.
It was so traumatic.
Yeah,
but it was self-defense.
Oh, there was
officers.
Yeah. Well,
Maggie would like to kind of fall into someone's arms a little bit because she's realized that playing the cold-blooded killer is not going to work out super well in her favor.
So the night watchman, who you can see his name on his gold badge here, Jimmy, Lewis, would either of you two like to catch Maggie, or are you leaving it to one of the officers?
I will.
Lewis.
Oh, Maggie. Oh, you're not feeling well?
Oh, I feel faint. Thank you, Lewis.
Oh, she's been through so much. Look at her.
Yeah, I mean, she must be traumatized. She almost died here.
Oh,
if you were quicker, maybe.
Oh, I was.
They both reached for the rock. Oh yeah.
Oh, that would have been awful. Yeah.
And as this night watchman tries to do anything, you can see his name, Forrester, on his badge there. But it's one of the police officers that just kind of goes, "Excuse me, sir. Miss, Maggie. He said your name was. Do you want to sit down, take a moment? You could be in shock. We're going to need to speak to you. In fact, we're going to need to speak to all of yous. His partner walks around and puts like a blanket over Elsie. And then he kind of just says, "Ma'am, you're going to be okay. Stay here. Stay with these people." And then he goes and starts with tape kind of cornering off the area. But you very much are in the area until the officer who's there, who is speaking to you, he's called Hemmings. He just kind of says, "I'm going to need you to come with me just outside of this area here. We need to step away from the body. If we can talk over here."
Officer, of course.
Okay. Can you okay? Do you need to sit down?
That
We'll be
like
fine.
coffee would be lovely, actually.
Coffee?
Yeah, don't ask for too
3
much,
sugars.
Jimmy.
No.
It helps my nerves.
Helps your
All
nerves.
right.
Yeah, great.
Don't
yeah.
worry. We appreciate this. Forrester.
We almost died here.
The-
You know?
Yeah,
we
we almost
died.
died.
We could have
Except the
died.
fence.
I understand. Just I'm going to ask you for your events in the order they happen. Just give me 1 second. Forrester. And then the night watchman. Oh, yeah. Coffee. 5 coffees. Go now. Oh, yep. And he kind of like trots off and runs back up to one of the buildings on the campus area. So you're speaking to Officer Hemmings, and you can see that he is an Arkham police officer. So and he pulls out his notebook and he's got a pen. So just from the start, then names would be good.
We were just,
I was
Smoking.
entertaining everyone with my singing.
Indeed,
It
Jimmy
was-
was singing
Jimmy,
at the time.
Jimmy, what's your name, Jimmy?
James Budd. I don't know if you know of Budd Incorporations. My father, he just flashes an expensive watch. He kind of crosses his legs to flash his leather Italian shoes. It's kind of a big deal.
Okay. Can you give me a credit rating, please, Jimmy?
Let's do it.
I can feel like you've been playing a lot of Regency lately.
Extreme success with a 12 over 60.
Whoa! And everyone give me a fashion
Plus
roll and then a dance roll, please.
Woo.
Okay, yeah. So no, absolutely. He goes, "Oh, yeah. The Bud Enterprise. Yeah. Of course, I know that. You make sure you say hi to your father for me, Officer Hemmings."
Will do. I'm sure he'll remember you. But of course, I almost died. It was a when I tell my father of the state of security in this campus, having men like that run wild, attack women and poor rich people like me. It's unacceptable. You understand.
I completely understand, Mr. Budd, and I am well, just apologetic. It's all I can do, really. Mr. Forrester back there, I remember him, his application form. He didn't quite meet the cut. Notice why he's a night watchman and not on the Arkham force. I can tell you, the Arkham force, we take great pride, and we're glad that we were here to, well, serve, which is hopefully what we're doing, Mr. Budden. Hopefully you'll pass that
Well, that coffee's coming up soon, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Giving you a gold star on that serve.
Thank you. Forrester!
To protect and serve coffee. It's a noble
Exactly.
endeavor.
And it's a beautiful coffee. Lewis, he turns to you and just says, you started telling me what the events. What was your name again?
I'm Luis Carlos Andrian, and I'm a good friend of Jimmy.
Okay, Jimmy.
He's
sorry,
okay.
Mr. Bud.
Yeah,
Enough said.
It's okay.
Okay.
Jimmy, helping you out here.
Yeah, you owe me one. Yeah.
Not a good time
Oh,
to play a
yeah.
prank. I don't know this person.
This guy, never seen him in my life. I'm
please,
kidding. I'm kidding. We're besties.
Yeah,
We're besties.
don't send me back to Puerto Rico. Great. So,
So the order of events, Mr. Andrian.
yeah, we were just, fooling around, having fun. Jimmy was singing, delightful voice, and then we heard a scream. So we thought that we were gonna help because we want to be good citizens, and so we came and we tried to stop this weird, scary individual. And he tried to kill us. And just before he managed to do that, Maggie took a rock and smashed his head.
And Maggie, I believe that's you. What's your name, Maggie?
Margaret Myers, officer. Maggie's had long enough while these two were clowning around, showing off shoes and ordering coffee.
That's all me, actually.
To write a novel.
She knows a lot more legal lingo than I, as a player, do. So she's had a chance to just kind of, in her head, like file the correct keywords for, you know, like whatever you would need to see for it to then be viable to use lethal force, like in an assault case. So she just carefully like drops.
I used what force I deemed necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Legal phrases.
Okay. Okay. Is there a role in that, Maggie?
She is pretty charming, but I appreciate this is more like analytical. She knows a lot about the law. Well, no, she doesn't. What? She's only got 25 law? I thought she was a law graduate. Maggie.
She's been learning from the school of Jimmy by the sounds of it.
Oh, she's got 15 criminology. Would that enable her to know? I don't know enough about criminology. That's like crime studies, right? She'd know about crimes.
Yeah, I think criminology is mainly the study of crims. Criminologies.
It's more like the psychology of crime. So it's like things like witness testimony, validity, and you know, where people look at first and people's biases when they deal with crime. So you could go from that angle. It's kind of like a crime so you could play with his psychology in terms of what
Exactly
people
how I described it.
look at when they see crime.
The sociology of crime and the ethics of the legal system. So you have an angle here.
I think that's a good one. If you want to roll for that, Maggie, I think that's fair. This isn't necessarily a success and fail, as in if you fail, this goes horribly wrong. This is just more of I just want to gauge Maggie's understanding of how she's talking to the officer.
Well, fingers crossed. Thank you for pulling that into a criminology roll, guys. She in fact got a hard success with 21 under 50.
Then Maggie says the right things. She uses the right phrases. She says the right, those kind of buzzwords that she knows will make sense to the investigator, and also hand the narrative to the police officer in the way that supports very much the three or the four of you, with Elsie as well, who's just kind of there, cold, you know, shivering, quiet, listening to you lot. And when you kind of finish, the police officer just kind of taps his notebook. Okay. The gentleman on the floor there with the hole in his head. Do any of you recognize him?
I mean,
did we check?
He's clearly not a student here. That I can tell you.
Is he what? Is he a teacher here? I mean, he seems like an older. He's not. He's not a. Maybe he's an older student. I don't know.
Never seen this man in my life, officer.
No. Okay.
Elsie, did you know him? You said he was just waiting for you in the dorm?
No, he was in there at the far end by the window at the far end on our floor, and I came up and I saw him, and I heard like a slam of a door, and then he just whipped around and ran at me. I couldn't tell you which door it was.
What was he doing in the girls' dorm?
Exactly.
That is really creepy.
Yeah, I know. Like at this time of night after curfew as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
the police
just
officer
like, you know, just like security is not doing their job.
Yeah, that Forrester. Can't even get a cup of coffee here on time.
Where is that?
The coffee is the important thing. Far be it from me to tell you a business officer, but I would suggest a brief search of the dorms themselves. We don't know what room he was in or what he was doing. And I must also point out something unusual about his injury. That was not intended, I might add, to be a killing blow, merely an incapacitating one. But I could not help but notice he does not appear to have a healthy cranium.
He goes back to his notebook. Does not appear to have a healthy cranium. Okay, I appreciate your investigative leads there, Ms. Myers. But you leave the police into the policing, and I'll leave the study into the studiers. Okay.
Oh boy, so much confidence in the legal system of this town.
And he doesn't. You can actively see that he doesn't go to the dormitory to investigate. He kind of just basically stands there and says, "Look, I'm waiting here with Elsie. I got to wait for the ambulance. She's got to get taken. I got to keep an eye on the crime scene. And you know, me and my partner here, we got to wait to see. Well, to see what a detective says. This is an open case right now, and I can't go poking around stuff. So look, it's late. I got your names. I know you're in the halls here. There are not many students around at this time of year. Spring break and that. Look, I don't know. Just go back to your rooms. Try to get some sleep. And if I got any other questions, I'll come back to you.
No. We don't have any questions, and we are glad we could help, and we are glad that we can go to our dorms now.
Yeah.
Oh, and before you go, I'd like to report a crime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, the guy in dorm 74B. I don't know how they number dorms.
Yeah, we'll go to 74B.
Timothy. Yeah, he has some suspicious stuff under his bed.
Oh, okay.
I'd check that after in a couple of weeks if I were you.
Yeah, no.
Don't tell me when you're gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'll make sure. Timothy, was there a last name with that, or was it just Timothy?
Yeah. Northumberton.
Timothy Northumberton.
Yeah.
Of the New Hampshire Northumbertons.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is this like an English dude or?
Oh, he is half Swiss.
Okay, English, half Swiss, yeah. Timothy Northumberton.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he he's out and about all day. If you want to catch him, go around 3 or 4 a.m. and knock really loudly.
Really loud, 3 or 4 a.m. Okay, I got that. I guess the only thing I'm going to need from you now is a persuade roll.
Can I do fast talk?
Or a fast talk.
It's really important, you see.
It seems really important.
Oh no, 97.
That's what you get, Jimmy. Too close to the sun.
That's what you get.
God damn it.
You get the sense that Hemming's just kind of, because it's you as well. You are of the Bud Enterprise, the dynasty. You can see that Hemming's just going to goes, okay, yeah. Timothy Long Lothborough, yeah, half Swiss. Okay, yeah, we got this, Mr. Bud. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
No, thank you for your service. And then you kind of hear like the ambulance noise pulling up just by the kind of the Dean Halsey statue and lawn, which is towards the front on West Church Street. So you can see that the officer gets completely distracted and is now almost kind of taking Elsie in his arm and kind of taking her over to the ambulance first before doing anything with the body. So this area is cornered off. There's 1 or 2 police officers. There's a few paramedics now. You guys have been sent to your rooms.
Maggie gives the other 2 a significant look and says, "Gentlemen, I'm a little shaken from these events. Would you mind escorting me back to my dormitory?"
It's quite late, and I still haven't had any coffee.
Ginny.
I'm sure we can
of
find
course,
you
Maggie.
some coffee, Mr. Bud.
Fine, I'll come with, but it's mostly because I'd rather not walk very far alone right now.
And you love Maggie's coffee anyway. Let's go.
Had better, but yeah, whatever.
As you you walk over to the Dorothy Upman Hall, which is across the campus, you see there's a number of people there. A few people, a few of them kind of not really call out, but they're, "Hey, glad you're okay. Hey, well done, Maggie. Hope you're okay. Have a good night. And hey, Lewis. Yo, Jimmy.
Yo.
There's a few like kind of just like interactions, but there's not many people on campus. So these, you know, these few people that seem to just call out from the distance, they almost kind of return back to their dorms. But you go into the Dorothy Upman Hall. I'm gonna ask for spot hidden, please, if you will.
Once again, Newman wants us to be
Oh,
crazy.
that is a critical success. Jimmy rolled a 1. His eyes are wide open in the girls' dorms.
And he has
Damn,
had a
Jimmy.
coffee. The girls' dorms.
He doesn't want to miss a thing.
Jimmy's on point. Okay, right. Okay, so Jimmy going into the girls' dorms is
Critical success. Come on.
turning on the
do I
gym
see
stuff.
anything?
He does. Maggie, how about yourself?
96 from me. So Maggie's fumbling for her room key or whatever. Nothing.
Yeah, okay.
Drops her books.
Yeah. You probably head down, go to your kind of pigeonhole, your little mail hole that you normally do, and whenever you go in, just out of routine. Lewis, what about yourself?
Well, 92 over 25, so it might be a small failure here. I'm just, still in shock.
Yeah.
I'm looking around, but not really looking. I just want to go back to a place I know, a place where I will feel safe again.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you're having that moment, that self-reflection, that I just want to be safe, two things happen. Maggie, you get to your...
That sounds shit.
It is, trust me. Maggie, you get to your pigeonhole out of routine and you realize there's a little envelope in there, which you go to look at, but just before you do, you hear Jimmy gasp. Jimmy, there you go. Can you gasp? There it is. And Jimmy, you see now, you've almost didn't see it, but just as you entered the door, you've seen now, because it was the grass and the gravel outside, but leading into the room, there are blood droplets on the floor.
Hope someone's on their period.
Jimmy!
Jimmy.
And you see those blood droplets going further into the building and to the stairs.
So yeah, Maggie, I think that you'll be all right. Oh, is that a letter from your family?
Yes, but I'm not really concerned with that right now, Lewis. If I must spell it out, I was hoping we could look around and find out what that mysterious assailant was doing in this dormitory. Yes, Jimmy, what is it?
Blood.
What? No coffee, right?
I think that's the coffee.
All right, so
wait.
I didn't want to say anything in case it's embarrassing for some of the girls here. I don't know how you do. You just walk around, whatever. But it might have to do with the guy you just killed. And by killed, I mean lightly tapped, and he was probably already a goner, but blood on the ground.
Jimmy, is your critical success as well, and in true Jimmy style, you're pointing at the blood on the ground, and as you're kind of going, blood, blood, you just randomly in your like standard kind of blood point like this, and as you point, they realize that as exactly where you're pointing, there is a bloodied hand on the window of the door behind you, and it's almost as if you were pointing directly at it on purpose, but completely not. Blood,
Jimmy, you're like an idiot savant. It's too
he
perfect.
has intelligence 70.
Snap. He hides it well.
Maggie, I would say you see your name on the front of this little
written
envelope.
In blood. No.
And it's not written in blood, but it's not your family's handwriting.
Okay.
And they all have the same handwriting, your family.
Your whole family is one single person and they don't like you very much.
We have this family tradition where we all learn to forge our grandmama's handwriting. Well, I guess I'm just staring at this bloody handprint while I sort of absent-mindedly run a thumb along this envelope and pull out whatever lies within, hoping it's not a very small bomb, because I've had enough excitement for one evening, obviously.
You open up and find this little scrap of paper inside in this scruffy envelope. Jimmy, your critical continues because it's a critical. You see the bloodied handprint on the glass. You see the blood dotted on the floor. You see that it goes all the way up to the stairs, and you can actually see that there is a bloody trail, literally and metaphorically. There's a bloody trail leading up the stairs.
Should we follow the bloods?
I mean,
Is that a thing that's good for us to do? I'm not convinced. I'm still not 100% certain this isn't some kind of long con prank.
Jimmy,
Have you
think that the
tried
blood is-
tasting it? It might be ketchup.
You think that the
She's
blood
just
is
gonna,
going
like-
up?
The stairs. Over there,
Oh.
you see?
As if someone was like waiting upstairs.
Oh, going upstairs. Maybe they're going all the way up the roof.
The chap who's this is out of character, but the chap I brained looked like he was he drooling copious amounts of blood, or like just a little trickle from where I stoved his head in? Or was it like splashed over his clothes like it'd been going for some time?
Yeah, so you could see there's a number of parts on his face that had looked like they had been beaten to some degree, and they were the bloodied bits. It was when you brained William Walter Patchett that there was no significant flow of blood, as if the circulatory system was not active.
Okay, so he didn't look like he'd been dripping blood all the way. There wasn't like a trail of blood from where we stopped him back to the dorm or anything like that.
I suppose if you're asking the group and Jimmy's with you and Jimmy's critical, yeah, Jimmy, you'd probably say actually now you've probably tracked that from Patchett. Patchett has that is a Patchett trail back here.
And you know what? I think if we follow this, it's going to tell us when he got hit the first time. That's probably exactly where we need to be if we want to solve this mystery. Now, I don't want to solve this mystery, but you two seem to want to solve this mystery, and I don't want to go to bed. So...
Curious though I am, I must confess, I believe we should exercise caution. If he did indeed suffer an assault in this building before he ran out after Miss Branner, then another assailant might still be hiding here.
Good point.
I mean, Jimmy,
Do you have any,
maybe you don't care about, your grades or, just your degree, but if we were to go by ourselves, we could get in trouble, right? Shouldn't
Yeah.
we just call security or the police?
When you say call security, you see past the bloodied handprint window. You see the night watchman Forrester walk past with cups of coffee. He's about 20 feet away. He's not coming towards you. He's going straight across the field back to the police officers. But he's kind of walking, and as you kind of say, we should call security, he drops one of the coffee cups on the floor. You just hear him going, God, oh, come on. I'm never going to impress
Never
him.
mind. Never mind. We
I'm
can't
coming.
trust those guys.
I got the coffee.
Ah.
And then he kind of walks off towards the crime scene.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, Ixnay on the Ops K.
I'm
I think
still
we're on our
not
own.
quite sure why we're trying to fix this or anything. Like, she seemed like a great girl. She's still alive. Nothing bad has really happened. Everyone's okay. It seems like a lot of responsibility when we could be,
Mr. Budd, are you
Jimmy-
suggesting you see nothing wrong with the idea of rabid murderers hiding out in the Upman dorm?
Oh no, it's very
mean-
wrong. Just a bit less wrong than them actively killing me.
Well, you could be next, Jimmy.
I could be.
Yeah, I mean, Maggie is still here. She's still alive. She could take another rock on. Pam.
It's not funny. That's not funny, Lewis. I'm sorry.
well,
You don't have the comedy in you. It's not funny. I reject
Great.
this joke.
Amazing, Jimmy. But to be fair, there could be just like someone else. The trail of blood, it's just weird on Forrester. He seems to be like a nice chap, but he's a useless tool.
Yes. All right. Well, do you have anything in the storm that we could, I don't know, use as like a weapon or something? I don't want to go up there and have to deal with that. And there's no rocks in here. I'm not happy to go empty-handed. Do you have like a frozen fish? That's kind of what I'm feeling for a weapon right now.
Are you
feel like
actively
it would.
looking around for a weapon?
For a frozen fish specifically. Yeah, we have loads actually
It doesn't
in the
matter.
dorm kitchen.
Even if you roll a
Big
critical
frozen fish.
success,
Pow, pow,
you're
pow.
not going to find a frozen fish during spring break in the.
I
Dark
have
War.
some in my dorm, but
I
we
feel
can
like
go
Newman's
in
further.
the,
Newman
Yeah.
is not really trying tonight. Yeah.
over in the East Dorm. No, I'm sorry, not frozen fish. But I mean, I can give you a selection of fish later on that's cooked and served for you. But no, but I tell you what, you can find, Jimmy, if you are going down this route without needing a roll, you look around, you can see there's a fire extinguisher.
That's a great weapon. It's a double whammy. You can use it and then bonk him over the head with it.
I don't feel great wandering around with my hands empty either, so I assume there's not loads of fire extinguishers, but maybe I can grab a lamp or something.
Oh, I'm happy
Absolutely.
to give you the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do
You
I have the
seem
best
so
brawl?
strong.
Anyone clocking in over 45?
I
Nope.
feel like, from what we've seen before, you are a fighter here. Maggie,
Okay, I swing
we
it very
trust you.
professionally.
Yeah, unfortunately, you
Uh,
didn't bring your souvenir rock with you. It's still embedded in Paul Pratchett's head.
It was part of the crime
Jimmy-
scene. I couldn't possibly
Exactly.
move it. We'll have to find another.
Jimmy's more of a stealthy kind of guy, so he doesn't want anything bulky to like, he wants to be able to hide away. Do you have any like
Stiletto knives.
any letter openers?
Give me a luck roll, would you? There is a receptionist deck. Not really a receptionist desk. It's more of like where the resident assistant would be. So there's a small kind of like almost, I don't know, perch where there's a few things. It's where the mail is, and sometimes you have a resident assistant, and they're a bit kind of back in two, especially during the holiday season. But you can see they've got a little area. Give me a luck roll, and we'll see if you find whatever it is you might be looking for.
That's a hard success with a 19 over 45.
You find
The
With
biggest
a
knife
hard success,
letter opener.
you find
The
a
biggest
samurai.
letter opener.
No, you find a letter opener. But the quite beautiful thing about this letter opener, Jimmy, is that the handle part
He's shaped like a
is
fish.
shaped like a fish, and the blade is like out of its open mouth.
It's perfect.
There you go.
Everything's coming up, Jimmy.
What kind of damage would one assign to this beautiful weapon?
I'd go with a 1d3 with that one,
That's
please.
less than punching someone. Wow.
Well,
Fair.
yeah.
How are we feeling about a fire extinguisher? How much damage does that do?
Actually, to tell you what, letter opener's a 1d4. Go on, let's do it. It's significant as as that. Fire extinguisher. It depends what you're doing with it. Are you like smashing it into them?
It kind of has two modes, doesn't it? Yeah, the spray and the smash. So I
Mm.
guess as a first order of business, it would be smashing. But if I wanted to go for like an AOE or a stun effect, maybe I'd be spraying.
I think if we go for a smash, and we'll deal with the spray as and when we get there. If we go for a smash, I think we'll go with a 1d4 plus 1.
Lovely.
Yeah, plus damage bonus if you've got it, because I think that is if someone hit me with a fire extinguisher, I think I'd know about it. Unless they hit me really hard, and then I might not know anything about it whatsoever.
Not if your brain is dry and spongy.
Exactly, which, let's be honest. So at this point, the blood spatter leading up the stairs. Lewis is giving some sense of social responsibility talk to Jimmy. Jimmy is handing a fire extinguisher to Maggie and finding a fish knife, not a literal fish knife, letter opener in the shape of a fish. What do we do, guys?
Oh, Madre de Dios. I think that, we need to stay calm. Maggie, you go first.
Ladies first.
Deep breath. I clutch the locket with a picture of my parents. I think, yeah, they'd be proud of me. I killed a man tonight. And then I advance slowly up the stairs.
You can. Oh, sorry. Go on,
Jimmy
Jimmy.
Jimmy very carefully avoids walking on any of the blood because, of course, he doesn't want to mess up his Italian leather shoes. They're very important to him.
Yeah. Okay.
And Maggie doesn't want to mess up a crime scene because the forensics people will be annoyed at her later. So, and honestly, this will make an incredible dissertation. She's never been part of a crime scene before, and there is a giddy thrill to it.
Absolutely.
Luis just doesn't want to annoy anyone. We
Good boy.
start, to just grasp his small amulet and pray.
And as Lewis begins to pray, you make your way up the stairs, up the second flight of stairs, and you find yourself. This is a floor above you, Maggie, but you find yourself on this top floor, looking down the corridor. The blood spatter goes past the shared bathroom. There is a telephone area with some lockers off to the side as well. But straight ahead of you, you can see the blood spatter dripping all the way to the far end of the corridor. And there's 2 rooms at the far end. There is a window on the far end as well, and the window's open. But I think, again, because I think you had this critical success, and I don't feel like I've given you enough to reward it being a critical, because let's be honest, just off the top of my head, it's like a 1 in 100 chance. So as you get to the far end of the corridor, I think you can see that there is blood spatter there. It's hard to tell out of the last 2 rooms where it specifically comes from or to, but you can see that there is a gap between the blood spatter and the open window, bizarrely.
So that means that it didn't it didn't necessarily come directly from the window, but it didn't also, it doesn't lead to either of the rooms either. So it's just started.
It's hard
on
to
that
tell.
spot almost.
There is a bit of spatter to the 2 rooms, but it's hard to tell whether it came from one, went into one, whatever happened. But you can see that there is blood spatter here, almost to the 2 far doors.
Ms. Branner did mention hearing a door slam just before she saw the man. I don't believe he climbed in through the window.
Guess we should take a look then.
Actually, can I put my ear to one of the 2 doors, fire extinguisher at the ready?
Yeah, so looking down the corridor, the window's ahead of you. Are you going to choose the door on the left, or are you going to choose the door on the right?
If there's nothing about like neither one's ajar or whatever, I'm going to go for the right one.
Okay. Absolutely. Give me a listen roll.
Ooh, regular success. We're looking at a 34 under 40.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Wait,
Maggie.
sorry to pause. Did I ever look at what was in the envelope?
Yeah, it's in the roll 20.
Yes.
Oh,
you did. In fact, actually, just as you're having that thought now, and we have that momentary flashback of panic, would you mind just reading it out for us?
Yep. So just before we started talking about trails of blood and gathering weapons, I pull a scrap of paper out of this envelope, torn from like a lined, the kind of paper with the hole punches down the side. And it says, kindly requesting your attendance at the Athena Lecture Room, Science Hall, tomorrow at 11 a.m., Professor Marsh. So not actually the most important thing right now, probably, but
and as you're leaning up to the door, and you that recycles in your mind, making almost an appointment in your mind, 11 o'clock, Athena Hall, Science Annex, and it's almost what am I doing? What am I thinking about? Why am I thinking about administration when I'm trying to listen into this room? And as you listen, you hear like you hear like a ruffling noise. You hear like a scuffing noise, almost like a And then you hear, because you're listening so intently, it almost takes you by surprise, from the other door across the hall, behind Lewis, behind Jimmy, and all three of you hear this, you hear a sobbing. A woman sobbing.
Maggie, what do you hear?
I don't want to make any noise outside of this door, so I'm gonna finger to lips and I'm gonna point to both of you and point you over to the door the sobbing is coming from, and then I'm gonna mime very obviously like holding my fire extinguisher ready and then like hand going to the door handle, and then I'm like 5, 4, and I'm trying to do a countdown so that we try and both open the doors at once.
And this is into the room the crying's coming from.
I'm waving them to the crying room. I'm
going
curious about, because the picture that I've got in my head is that if there's like a crazy rabid brainless guy in the room with you, you're not like quietly sobbing. Maybe that's the noise you make after he's left and gone into the room across the hall. So I don't want to like wander into one room and then he's behind us. I just figure let's open all the doors and see what happens. That's where I'm at. What do you guys think?
I think we're gonna have a like awkward miming where me and Lewis try to get the other person to be in charge of the door, and it's like,
No, I'm not going. You're going. You have a knife. You have a knife. I don't have
but
anything.
then Jimmy loses this one and goes to the door.
Use the fish. Use the fish.
Use the fish. The fish.
Okay, so you're opening doors on either side at the same time. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right. Well, we'll go with Jimmy and Lewis first, I think, probably because there's two of them. And what happens is we go 3, 2, make it count you down. Thank you for joining us. You can find out more on our website at miskatonicplayhouse.com. Join us on social media. The links are in the show notes. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and support us on Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse, where you can access exclusive shows and content for as little as £1. Until next time, when the curtain rises again.